Hey everyone, Skull902 here, and I'm taking yet another trip with my memory lane buddies. I've got Rabbit here with me,
Hello, everybody.
and today is going to be a bit of a special episode because you guys voted for unfinished slash unrealized projects. Uh, and boy, howdy, let me tell you, if there has been any a collaborator in my online video making career, it's been this guy. We've got
Yeah,
a lot of stuff that we've worked on over the years, and uh, want to share some of what didn't go down, some of the secrets, and everything. So uh, hopefully we can have
I
a
was there
nice.
since the beginning. I remember when you were first pitching Sonic and Mario, more or less.
Yeah, that's true. Uh, so, without any further ado, Rabid, you ready to get into this?
Yeah.
All right, cool. We're gonna start off with some smaller stuff. I tried to order this somewhat chronologically, but also somewhat like least notes to most notes. So we'll see how this turns out and how much from our notes that we actually cover. But
I almost thought of like saying like maybe get Sonic and Mario out of the way since we mentioned that so much, but that actually has like some of the most notes in
yeah,
this.
that easily got the most shit, and I was like, yeah, when we were first talking about it, like Sonic and Mario, I was like, oh yeah, we can just brush past that. No, we
Yeah,
can't
it's like we bring
actually.
that up like every stream.
Yeah, we can't actually because there is a lot of material here uh, to go over.
Yeah.
But let us start with Clone Calamity. Actually, it came out a month and a half ago, easily the most recent of the things to be going down. This one's likely to be the shortest segment as well, because uh, I imagine Rabbit probably doesn't have a whole lot to say about like what I'm about to mention here. But
Uh I didn't really have much of any part in this aside from like doing voices because he like showed me the script early and I was like, yeah, that seems good. I don't really have anything to add.
yeah, I suppose that's something that we can get into. Was during the writing process, I showed the script to you and Kat. For like any suggestions or maybe to touch up the dialogue a bit. And uh, it kind of ended up being more or less as I wrote it, with like a few changes that I added later. But I was surprised by that. But the constructive criticism was very well appreciated. Um, so to get into the notes here for Clone Calamity, we got like the basically the money sequence of the movie was the multiverse scene, and both of my notes have to do with that. Uh, First one was that when I was originally writing it, I wanted there to be more of a crossover effect, not just with like me and Rabid stuff, but with some of the people that I know. So one of the things that I wanted to do was have like a scene in S&T's world. Reach out to Courtney, see if we could get something going. Uh, and unfortunately, that was declined. I think Courtney kind of had the idea that I wanted her to write it, and I offered to try and write it to the best of my ability, and show it to her for any improvements and changes and whatnot. And she was like, I don't think we'll be able to do this. And I was like, okay, you want to voice Cosmo? Uh, so that was one scrapped thing. One thing that had to be changed, but thankfully was salvaged, was Superman and Batman. One of my favorite parts of the movie. Um, That was going to be a stop motion animation like Robot Chicken, for instance. So I bought the figures and I bought like a set to use as a background for the scene that unfortunately uh, ended up not getting made. My little brother was supposed to be the one to like animate it and whatnot. We were going to work on it together at one point. But time was not something that we could find, unfortunately. So I asked him like point blank, like, do we have the time for this? And he was like, nah, I don't think so. So um, that's how Shay got involved with making the art and whatnot. And it came out beautifully. Uh,
I do
I would
like
say.
I do really like the idea of it being like Robot Chicken, but I don't know like how the kissing scene would have been as good as it was without it
Yeah,
being art.
you know, uh, it. I'm sure it would have also, been nice and fun, but I do think that doing the meme template and shaking it all around was a good choice. But yeah,
Yeah.
that's how Clone Calamity was supposed to be. Just to get that out of the way, and if anyone's wondering, what of the figures and whatnot, or well, I should say my brother still has them in his possession, and we are going to give the two figures and the set away as a charity prize for game day in November. So yeah. So next up would be Uber Duck. Everyone's bafflingly favorite show. So, uh, first note on that, I know that there were some ideas that I mentioned in my video that I made many years ago about like what season two would have been like with Bastardly Bunny's lab getting destroyed to explain like the move of house, for instance, and whatnot. But I don't remember if I mentioned that the villain of that season was supposed to be like an emo teddy bear that the Bastardly Bunny makes, who who like outright refuses to fight Uber Duck because God just hates the Bastardly Bunny. I had a voice for him and everything. I don't want to fight Uber Duck. Man. So that was a monster of season two. I know I had an idea for the monster of the third season, but I cannot for the life of me remember what it was. Uh,
I'm sure you must have told me what it was, but it's so long ago I don't remember.
years upon years ago. But uh, the other Uber Duck note that I have on here, because I basically said everything in that video from a few years back. But one such idea that I had for a future episode of Uber Duck was that when I was going to Toys R Us, around the time, usually to like pick up something Godzilla related, or look at what they had for say Sonic figures, or whatever. Uh, I noticed on a few consecutive trips in this like big ol' basket of plushes that they had. One of them was just like this big old duck that looked remarkably similar to Uber Duck. So what I wanted to do there was uh, do like another one of my practical effects because Windows Movie Maker, so it all had to be practical. But what I wanted to do with that was have like Uber Duck, since he has the power to do anything, just grow giant and like stomp the Bastardly Bunny. Because again, God hates him. So yeah.
But not enough to let him die.
Loves him enough to let him suffer. So that's our notes about Uber Duck. So next up will be something that Rabbit had a very active role in, and something that I am a bit remiss to talk about just because like it is kind of embarrassing. But Super Wars. Uh,
Yeah, Super War.
Super Wars, oh boy. Shitty name aside, uh, this this was something I did mention briefly in an update from around the time that we were getting the project started, and the 10 years plus one of School 902 video that I did. But it was going to be a live action series, like with figures and whatnot. So like think Sonic and Mario, like still pictures and whatnot, but with some live action thrown in there as well. If you've ever watched It's Just a Random Guy, think something like that. Very similar in presentation it was going to be, but with like effects and stuff. Because I had just gotten Vegas at the time.
Hey, look what I can do with After Effects.
Pretty much. Uh, Big crossover series. We wanted to have Marvel heroes, DC, threw in some Power Rangers because, god damn it, I like Power Rangers. Uh,
Why not? Got the figures.
yeah, man. Uh, Gosh, if I remember the initial photo that I took, which was it's like the channel is still around, but like the only picture that survives is a very crusty, like shrunken down version of a picture that I took for the audition thread. And I'm trying to remember all the heroes that were in there: Spider-Man, Wolverine, Johnny Storm. Uh, gosh, Trey the Gold Zeo Ranger, Tommy and Adam the Red and Green Turbo Rangers, respectively. And I think that was it at the start. But there were going to be more.
I'm gonna say like Iron Man, Batman,
Oh yeah,
Superman were in there.
yeah. Iron Man was definitely going to be one of the earlier introductions. I think Batman came later on. It's been so long, I can't remember. But um, the premise, and this was like a 10 season long story arc that we wrote. Uh, The premise was that there was an invasion of Earth by these robots, and the robots were going to be like customized like bionicle figures. Uh, you could do a lot of interesting shit with the bionicle figures. Like I know my brothers did way back in the day, so I wanted to try and do that again, make some interesting enemies for our heroes to fight. Um, and that's kind of like basically the story of the show. We were going to continue it beyond there, but we didn't get that far. Uh, and perhaps 10 seasons before the first episode even came out, writing wise, was a bit uh, overzealous. But, eh, you know, we're just a bunch of teenagers full of optimism. So, yeah. Um,
I'm Meanwhile, I'm not really all that embarrassed to talk about this.
yeah, uh, I suppose it's less embarrassing now that I kind of like, whatever. Uh,
Yeah, it's an action figure thing. I kind of like, got to show off my comic nerdiness a bit
mm-hmm.
doing some of this.
Yeah, and like I'm sure the puppetry would have been better than Uber Duck, but that's that's aside from the point. One note I have here about it is that there was a lot of focus actually on the Gold Zeo Ranger because I mentioned this in Sonic and Mario Tidbits last year, but I really like studied an episode of the show and was able to make like the voice effect in a pretty all right way, and I was so proud of it, like stupidly proud of it. Unfortunately, the earlier version was like pretty muffled, so that's what you would have been hearing throughout the whole thing if we had actually been on schedule with this and whatnot. But yeah, no, I mean, he is like one of my favorite Rangers too, so I guess there's like some bias there. But it was a little scaled, a bit much in that direction, uh, with like a whole death and resurrection storyline, a spin-off season about like what happened before the show started. It was silly. Um, After that, what we have here is the 10th season, the end of the show, because I don't really remember much about like how the story like got together and whatnot. I know one of the seasons was like a comedy one with Deadpool that Rabid mostly wrote. Uh, but
Yeah, and I remember there was another like more seriouser one I wrote that had Lord Zed as the main villain.
Oh shit, that's what right, right, right. After the
Yeah,
fucking alien robot invasion, that's what we were gonna do. Ah
yeah.
man, I remember now. Uh
And I remember like you told me specifically not to use like Superman for it at one point, and I was like, okay, and internally I was like, God damn it. 'Cause the original like version of the story I had was very Superman centric. Like Lex Luthor would have been the main villain.
I'm sorry, my dude.
It's all right.
Uh, but speaking of Superman, that 10th season that we wrote to conclude the whole robot thing, kind of Civil War inspired. Uh, because
Yeah.
I think Batman joined at some point, probably in the ninth season. I don't remember, but Batman joined, and he and Tony Stark had a bit of a disagreement on how they should have handled things. So we had like a split faction thing going on, and obviously that ends up not working out for either side. And then we get the debuts, and this is probably what I was saving Superman for. Uh, we get the debuts of Superman and Captain America, who come up and tell everyone, "Hey, man, we gotta settle our differences here because if we don't do this now, they're gonna take over the Earth, and that's bad." So that's where that would have gone. Um, and then I completely forgot about that Lord Zed thing afterward, but you are absolutely right. Uh,
Yeah.
that's where it would have
And
gone.
I remember specifically doing that. You were like, "Oh shit."
This is fucking cool.
Yeah.
uh, so that's kind of like Super Wars in a nutshell from all that I can remember. There's a lot of material for it on like my old computer that we just haven't recovered yet, so uh,
Mhm.
I can't really dig that up and jog my memory like I was able to do with some of this other stuff. Um, I do remember someone in the audition thread when I was seeking out voice actors rightly called the show out because uh, like, I don't know if it was just because of the pool of available voice actors or, whatever the case, but it was a stupid, huge oversight that we didn't really think about, like, female characters all that much. So there was, like, a severe lack of them through the first 10 seasons. Uh, and I remember when that was pointed out to me, I was like, I am so sorry. 'Cause,
Yeah.
like,
I
it,
mean, that's just the thing about like a lot of superhero stuff, though. It's a bit of a boys' club. It just never really came to mind.
yeah, just, but, like, afterward, I committed to including more. But I forget at what point that was gonna start happening. Probably, it probably would have been around the middle. I don't remember, but yeah, no, that was again rightly pointed out. Uh,
I mainly just remember what I did.
and the last thing is there was going to be a crossover episode with
Yeah.
Rabid's show Simply Sonic. Uh,
Yeah. I was middle of the writing of one of that for shits and giggles.
yeah, it was a fun idea too.
It would have been like Deadpool establishing in the beginning that like it would have been non-canon as fuck to Super Wars, but it would have been canon to Simply Sonic. It would take place right after SA2.
I mean, if that makes any sense. Anyway, enjoy the episode.
Yeah.
The two things I remember about that were like when Sonic first gets transported over, and I think for that we were gonna get like one of those 3-inch Jazzwares figures uh, for Sonic, which would make sense. But that's aside from the point. Um, Spider-Man's like discovered him and is like swinging him around through New York City to get to their headquarters or whatever the fuck. Uh, and they're just like having a conversation and Spider-Man's like, well, you're fictional in our world, and then Sonic's like, wow, that's god damn it, I'm losing the terminology here, but he was fairly devastated to hear such a thing. So uh, that was fun. We'll talk more about
Um,
simply. Oh, sorry.
okay, not to interrupt you, but like the main thing I remember is that is in fact the script where Pink Sonic originated from.
Right. Yeah, I forgot. Like that was the other thing I remembered was like Sonic, Amy, and Tails and Knuckles were like on an island before Sonic gets transported or whatever. Uh, and then Eggman's crew are like spying on them. Uh, and one of them reports to Eggman's like Knuckles, Tails, and the one you call Pink Sonic are on the island.
Yeah.
Uh, good bit.
Yeah, like the island was still like crashed into the ocean, I think, because they still hadn't put the emerald back yet.
Uh, Beautiful stuff. We'll talk more about Simply Sonic a little later. But I think it's time for some closure. Uh, 9.5 years after the initial announcement, I'm here to, and I'm sorry to disappoint for all those who were holding out hope. But Ice Cap Zone is scrapped. I know,
No,
terribly
no.
disappointing news. Uh, I'm sure for all the three of you who are watching that might remember. Uh, in late 2015, I wrote and announced a little 4 episode miniseries for like a sprite show, uh, just kind of chronicling the adventures of a few badniks. Um, as Ice Cap Zone is being constructed during the events of Sonic 3 and Knuckles. Uh, the original characters we had there were Scott, who was an uptight Burrowbot and kind of like the supervisor of the whole project, and that I think was actually a reference to Sonic and Mario, because like there's a Burrowbot mentioned by the Badniks in season 1 named Scott. Whatever. Uh, then we had Jerry, a snarky penguinator, and Steve, the dim-witted Orbanaut who loves spaghetti. Uh, uh, it was gonna be a lot more episodic of a thing
More like a
than
sitcom, more or less.
yeah than I usually did. Like episode 1, I have like very short summaries here in the notes, but episode 1 was Jerry debates with Knuckles, who was like their boss more or less, about the logistics of base building. Um, episode 2, Steve decorates the zone with leftover balloons from Carnival Night. Episode 3, using Eggman's credit card, Steve imports ice blocks from around the world to use in in the lake outside. And then the finale was Scott and Jerry debate over about loops being in the zone, which Sonic wrecks upon his arrival. Our pro tags get fired by Eggman. So this is like a fun little adventure with snarky Jerry and dim-witted Steve. What a pairing!
Yeah.
One that I don't think I've ever mentioned publicly, uh, as far as like things that I wrote, and I often forget about it, is years before Amy's Best Anime. I had a 10 episode miniseries called Amy's Adventure. Uh, and the summary goes something like this. I read like all the episode summaries I wrote when I, originally typed them all up, and the story is set between Sonic Adventure 1 and 2. Amy sets out to stop Eggman and rescue Sonic from being kidnapped, gathering Chaos Emeralds from the rest of the SA1 cast along the way. She meets up with Gamma, actually a prototype of the E1000 from Sonic Adventure 2, unknowing of the original robot sacrifice. After escaping an explosion with the help of Tails, they meet up with Jerry and Steve. Hey, segued into this. Then discover Sonic and Eggman were kidnapped by Sally Acorn, who is upset about being thrust into an alternate universe when Sega decided to go with the Japanese continuity, leading an army of abandoned robots to use both worlds' Chaos Emeralds to merge them. After being saved, Sonic tells Amy the whole thing will be non-canon. Uh, so there were like a couple gags there where uh, like in the beginning of the show, Amy tricks Knuckles into giving her a Chaos Emerald. Like the running gag was that the other characters from Sonic Adventure like found the Chaos Emerald before she got the chance to. Uh, then Tails finds like the rest of the Chaos Emeralds after Amy gets tricked by the fake Gamma. And then he also tricked Knuckles into giving him one. Uh,
I
like
don't think I even knew this one existed. I
I
think, or I just completely forgot about it.
I think I showed you and Josh, but like nothing's been mentioned of it pretty much since I wrote it. So I uh, shrug. I don't know. Uh, it's nothing against Sally, by the way, making her the villain. I just thought it would be funny. Uh,
Hmm.
um, one last thing about this one was I was reading the summaries that I originally wrote, and I think it's because this is in a larger scale the Simply Sonic universe. Uh, but I remember being befuddled when I read the line "Sonic thanks Amy," but specifically not Tails. But I think like looking back on it, it is the Simply Sonic continuity, and again we will get to that uh, in just a couple bits. Actually, maybe we can double back actually to this since we did mention Simply Sonic a few times. Uh,
Simply Sonic's going to be pretty relevant. I
yeah,
guess. Yeah.
so let's just jump into Simply Sonic then. Uh,
Yeah.
so this is Rabid's creation,
Yeah. I
and
did one episode of
yeah.
it.
And not only that, but this is the second iteration of the show because it went through a few phases. But the second iteration is kind of what we're going to be discussing today.
Hmm.
The first was like Rabid's earliest videos, or some of them, uh,
Yeah.
and then
Like it was text only, Windows Movie Maker.
yeah, and then the third iteration was more along the lines of like the Sailor Moon series that we'll also be
Yeah.
talking about later.
I,
Uh,
I might be willing to jump back into that at some point, but not like anytime soon. But
yeah. Um, so the second iteration, though, I think was the one that kind of had the most put into it. Only one
hmm
episode released uh, back in 2013, but we sure as hell worked
Jeez
on it
Louise.
for a good while. Um,
Yeah.
the first note that I have for it here is Crabmeat and Lenny made an appearance in Clone Calamity, and this was easily the most obscure of all the references in that
This
multiverse
is,
sequence.
yeah, by far the most inside baseball out of the whole thing. Like, pretty much only us two got anything out of that.
Yeah, but you know, I knew it was like my last sprite project or whatever. We had to realize Lenny. I'm sorry.
Lenny is one of our favorite characters that didn't get used in anything.
And like we make references to Bubby and whatnot all the time, so you know
Yeah.
it only made sense. Um, Lenny is a crab meat. The sprite is specifically from Sonic Blast, which we thought was fucking hilarious looking in its
Yeah.
ugliness. Uh,
It's very derpy looking.
yeah. So the backstory is that Lenny is crab meat's cousin, and Sonic didn't like properly destroy it in Green Hill Zone. He like hit it kind of wrong, so now Lenny's just stupid. And Crabmeat is a very good cousin and takes very nice care of him. Crabmeat's a bro. Uh,
And you love going like, many Smurfs, Miss Bubby.
yeah. um, we love Lenny in this house. Uh, so the series structure of the second iteration here of Simply Sonic was like uh, most of them were parodies of something. Usually, like one of the games per episode, but we were ambitious, damn it, and sometimes would do things like Sonic Christmas Blast, for instance.
Yeah.
Uh,
Nothing against like a good filler episode.
oh yeah, that's in fact where many Smurfs, Miss Bubby, came from. So you know, um, I think you did one for Sat AM too, didn't you?
I want to say so, yeah.
Yeah, I seem to remember something of the like. Uh, so yeah, it was mainly the games, but sometimes we'd like throw something in there too. I mean, Sonic Christmas Blast. It's based on AOSTH. Why not include Scratch and Grounder? Um, so
Well, yeah.
kind of alluded to it with the Amy's Adventure thing, but it all ties into Sonic's characterization in there, where he's a snarky jerk with a heart of gold. Uh,
Yeah, we really leaned hard into him being an utter dick.
yeah, and the target of most of his quips was Tails, so that's like the more that I think about it now, the more it makes sense that I wrote like he doesn't thank Tails for helping save him. uh,
Yeah.
so yeah, but in relation to that as well, I'll tie it back together. But uh, I have this note here says Amy's gambit to force Sonic into marriage in Sonic Adventure 2 was not only serious but successful. Just wanted originally to do like a reference to the Family Guy Star Wars special. Stay here and rot, you stuck up bitch. Uh, but
Yeah.
but then like uh, going back to Sonic's character and whatnot, when Rabid started writing the Sonic Heroes episode, uh, it kind of like goes back to them at the very start, and I think that's the first time I think that I noticed Rabid's impeccable ability to write like heartfelt dialogue and whatnot.
Yeah. Yeah.
They kind of had
Kind of
like
started there.
yeah, like they kind of have a conversation at the start there. Where Sonic's like, "Hey, listen, I'm just a dick because I don't know how to be anything else. I don't mean anything by it. You know, I'm just trying to be funny." And I thought that was really well done, and it transitioned into the Sailor
I was
Moon
kind of
series, and
like applying that a bit to myself because I was like kind of like that at the time.
yeah. Uh, but no, man, like it was really good, and again translated into the Sailor Moon series and other stuff
Yeah.
that I I know that I got very inspired by those and tried to write some of that myself to varying degrees. Uh,
Yeah, I know you mentioned Clone Calamity, like specifically, like the writing of that was inspired by me doing like dramatic bits on Sailor Moon.
yeah, it's like I tried to emulate it in like some of my own episodes of the Sailor Moon audio drama, but I think uh, like I wasn't.
I think you definitely like grown into that fully by the time Clone Calamity happened.
Yeah, Sailor Moon was like a good practice. I think for that, like I wasn't uh, when I wrote those, and I knew it when I read them back too that I wasn't hitting like all the beats that I wanted to, but I think with Clone Calamity, I think I got the closest uh, to what I was aiming for. Uh, so uh, thank you, Rabbit, for being an inspiration to helping me write better.
And thank you for complimenting me.
No problem, my dude. Um, uh, One of the long-running story arcs of Simply Sonic here was Crab Meat and Lenny, along with like the other classic badniks getting fired at the beginning of the Sonic Adventure parody, and then they were rehired at the beginning of the Colors parody. So there was there was like a whole thing with them losing their jobs and making occasional appearances in between, and finally coming back and having a lovely reunion with old Doctor Robotnik.
Oh yes, it definitely would have been the Oscar worthy.
Oh yeah, for sure. Um, uh, One of the running gags was, and this was also started in the SA1 parody. It didn't get to use it too often, I think, because this was one of the last ones that was written. But
Yeah.
the phrase "the power of friendship" or something was like the ultimate like convincing. convincing term uh, to get people to like change their ways or whatever. So that gets Perfect Chaos to calm down. That gets Shadow to help out at the end of SA2. Uh, so uh, just a funny little bit. Um,
Power friendship or something. You're right. How could I be so wrong?
how could I have not seen it before? Uh, uh, but then after that we how should I say this? The series was meant to be connected to Ice Cap Zone via a spinoff, which Rabid wrote some notes about uh, here as well.
And
So
this was kind of years after we already knew we probably weren't going to simply Sonic anymore, but I figured, what the hell?
yeah,
You know?
so, tell us more.
Uh, yeah, this was actually inspired a little bit by some of the later Archie comics because they had a couple of short stories called that had like the Island of Misfit Badniks, which is what I called this in the notes we did earlier because I didn't remember the name I actually used. And it pretty much takes place when Crabmeat and Lenny got fired, and same goes for Jerry and Steve. And they're all just like getting sent off to the island where like all the decommissioned badniks are, and then like the four end up meeting each other, and it turns out the island is run by Metal Sonic, who is trying to kill all of them and take over the world, as you do.
What a good guy.
Uh, yeah. It's actually a little bit similar to Scrapnik Island, I guess, just more comedic in tone.
You owe him money, IDW.
Yeah, you owe me money, guy who's never heard of me before.
This is all Ian
But yeah, it
Flynn's
would have been
fault somehow.
about 7 episodes. Yeah, it's all Ian Flynn's fault. Fuck that dude. Even though he didn't write Scrapnik Island.
Exactly. Everything is Ian Flynn's fault.
SpongeBob doesn't have voice clips. God damn it, Ian Flynn.
uh, but yeah, I remember when you sent this to me, uh, thinking that it was a really fun idea to kind of meld everything together. And I think that might have been before I wrote the Amy's Adventure thing because in the plot summaries there, I remember seeing like when Tails and Amy meet up with Jerry and Steve, like they say that they're trying to like pay their way to get to the island. Uh, so it all comes together, but not like I wouldn't have thought like when I wrote Ice Cap Zone and whatnot that like of putting Jerry, Steve, Crabmeat, and Lenny together. But as soon as I saw it, I was like, this is fucking peak.
Yeah, I knew you'd react that way. I was looking forward to send it to you because of that. Because I basically came up with the whole thing just because, Jerry and Steve meeting Krabby and Lenny would be a fun idea. Why don't I make a story of that?
Yeah, man. Finally, Lenny would have someone to talk to, and Steve would have someone to talk to as well about
Oh, yeah.
spaghetti. Uh,
We'd be bosom buddies.
hell yeah. Uh, but and with like Metal Sonic and whatnot, it's very fun idea. Um, so that's kind of like the Simply Sonic verse right there. We got Ice Cap Zone, Amy's Adventure, uh, Simply Sonic itself, and the Island of Misfit Bots. Uh,
Yeah, more or less.
uh,
And that Super Wars crossover, I suppose, but
oh
we
yeah,
already mentioned that.
and Super Wars, in a way. Uh,
Yeah, from a certain point of view.
um, so next up, as I was writing notes for these, I noticed a lot of this was sprite stuff. Um, Like an
Yeah,
overwhelming majority of it
I
happened
mean
to.
that's what you did for the most part. So.
Yeah, to be entirely fair. One that didn't really get off the ground all too much, but one that I did actually announce in an update video. So I guess I'm gonna have to, I'm sorry to disappoint anyone, but I'm gonna have to, cancel it here too. Um, but there was a mini series that I wanted to do called the Colony, uh, which Rabid noted differences or rather similarities between Island of Misfit Bots and Scrapnik Island. This one's kind of similar to that little series that Mashed did. I forget what the hell it was called, but it was about like Sonic dying and discovering a bunch of other Sonics. Uh, but the miniseries was about Luigi waking up in a purgatory called the Colony after death and working toward getting another chance at life. Uh, Now, usually when I wrote shows, I would just do like a bunch of summaries and then get back to the scripts later. I only was able to do the first episode. Uh, which went like this. Luigi is awoken by a Koopa Troopa named Jeffrey and is informed he just died. Jeffrey explains that they're in another plane of existence simply called the Colony, a place where people from all worlds end up when they perish. Former minions of evil such as himself are either enlightened or further corrupted upon arrival and cannot leave. Those like Luigi are the chosen ones, and can either choose to stay or journey to the portal of life to return to the living with no memory of their death or the colony. When Luigi asks how to get to the Port of Life, Jeffrey tells him that they'll need to talk to the village elder and receive a mission. Uh, so that's where I started off, and I did have a string of ideas, uh, but didn't write out the whole thing. So like the village elder was going to be Kamek's father, named Jamek, and his family line was going to be like all in alphabetical order. Uh, so eventually, Kamek would have a lovely child named Lamech, and Mamek, Namek.
Actually.
Uh, King Boo was going to be the villain. Um, Goombario was going to be a part of Luigi's troupe, and I think that's just based on our playthrough of Paper Mario from back in the Skype days, where we kind of like just dunked on Goombario.
Yeah.
So Goombario's death was from slipping on his own foot and falling into a pile of leaves.
I love how stupid that is.
Yeah, which Goombario insisted there was a rock in there somewhere. Uh, the rock in there was Josh's idea actually, so all the credit to him for that. Uh, you know what? He should have been killed by a Manimul. That would have been beautiful. Oh shit! Speaking of which, I completely forgot to put
Oh,
this
how
in
the fuck
here.
did we forget about the Monty Mole talk show,
Oh
dude?
man, oh dude. Uh, okay, I'll just note off these last notes for the colony, and we'll talk a little bit about the Monty Mole talk show. Uh, Luigi and King Boo, in their like climactic, confrontation, we're going to play Crazy Eights. I probably would have changed it to Uno just for familiarity's sake. But it was going to be like a big old Yu-Gi-Oh parody. Uh, and then in the stinger of the series, Tails would have appeared in the colony. So that's our ideas for this little show. An interesting idea, but never really saw the light of day. And as I mentioned, by Mashed was done much better later on. Um, but yeah, the Monty Mole talk show, something non-sprites. Oh my god, I can't believe that we forgot about that until. But I'm glad that we remembered just now. Uh,
Yeah.
like we don't have any notes written down for this or anything, but god damn
No.
it, we're gonna talk about it. Uh, so at some point, we got this idea because we like the Monty Mole voice that I did for Paper Mario. Um, that I was gonna get like a few Mario plushies and like a miniature couch and a miniature desk, build a nice little set. And do a talk show where he would bring on guests from from the show, um, or sorry, from the series. I'm sorry for laughing there. I just remembered my favorite bit from it. They were gonna be like fake commercials in the form of like little skits in between each interview and stuff like that. Uh, I don't remember like a whole lot of gags. But one that I definitely do remember, and again, Josh gets credit for this as well. Where like we were gonna reveal during his interview with either Bowser or Princess Peach that like Monty Mole and Peach were together, and I think I wrote it in that they like start kissing, just making out like right in front of Bowser on set, and then Josh was the one who had the brilliant idea to and we've referenced this before on streams and stuff too, but we like he suggested having Monty go mm, yeah, slurp.
I think he's the one who started it in the first place, as he was the first one who went rock.
Oh my god. So that was great. Yeah, like it was- the only other thing I think at the end of each season, Monty was gonna get canceled. So like I think it was like the first season was presented as if he was like on network TV, and then I think like he goes to cable, and then I think we would have probably had him go on like public access. So like the set would have looked shittier with each season. Uh, but I don't remember like a whole lot of it. But I'm glad that the whole Monty Mole thing, like we remembered it based off of this bit from the colony. Uh, we were gonna have a talk show with Monty Mole, and it was gonna be glorious.
I remember specifically just doing one script where for no reason whatsoever he interviews Hatsune Miku.
Man, I don't remember that at all, but that sounds beautiful.
It, like I remember being really proud of that one, but I don't have it anymore, unfortunately.
Damn.
Um, and you probably have it on like somewhere. Uh, he's just like, is that one of them Chinese characters or something?
Oh God. Uh, I think I have the scripts on like and this is gonna be sad to say because I usually archive like everything, but I think that's another case where like the scripts are kind of lost on a device that we don't have like a lot of access to, like my brother's old Samsung Galaxy S4 phone, uh, which uh, eventually couldn't hold a charge and wouldn't even like turn on like when it was plugged into the wall. So we'd have to like I think get the innards of the phone and like put something in like another S4 that we had. I don't know. This is all like technical stuff, but I'm sure it can be salvaged, but it would take a lot. Is kind of
Damn.
the gist of it. Uh, it might be in my Skype logs because I did save those. I don't know, but Monty Mole Talk Show aside, we've got just a couple other things to mention. One of which was Sana Girls X. Uh, when Amy's Best Anime was premiered, I was like, all right, we're gonna do a 4 episode series and lead that into a movie. That never happened. But again, 4 episode miniseries plus a movie. It was my second attempt at a Sprite movie, and the one that like went uh, the least far, which is not the right phrasing of that, but whatever. Um, the miniseries was written, and to quote my notes here, was that the episodes were each about an individual Sana girl, Rouge throwing glitter at her enemies. Cream discovering two talking Chow, which were parodies of the Mooncats because this is very Sailor Moon based. Uh,
Yeah.
Amy searches for the quote unquote mysterious Sonic guy, and Blaze wonders about her purpose on the team, reflecting on a prophetic message Big Sensei gave her upon joining the team. All episodes end with a cliffhanger relating to the movie's events. So, uh, and this is a structure I think that is very similar to some of the Sonic and Mario stuff we're going to talk about, but like we had a premise. Um, and whatnot. So like all the characters were going to be a bit separated, except for Amy and Cream. We're going to be kind of together in a way, but they would all converge upon the movie, uh, which was going to be a story focusing on Blaze and Silver. And Silver was going to be an alien from outer space who is seeking help to uh, you know, like liberate his conquered planet or something. Uh, the only thing I really remember with Silver, aside from wanting to, write something with him and Blaze, was like a joke uh, at the beginning where he was like, "Ah, gee, I'm an alien. Really? That's the best we could do. You might as well color me green." And then like there was gonna like be a pop sound effect, and his fur was green for the rest of the movie. Uh, so there was that. Amy and Sanagai were kind of like the B plot. I don't remember who the villain was going to be, but likely Eggman because I
I
mean,
think it was just gonna be Eggman,
yeah,
yeah.
I mean, this is Eggman. He's got to get revenge for getting that glitter in his eyes and poor Egg Robo blowing up. Uh, and then Amy would eventually discover that Sanagai was Sonic. What I had for Sonic actually in the miniseries was that he and Tails knew that Amy was Sonic Girl Blue, but there was probably going to be like some really silly parody reason for why they couldn't say it up front. Uh, and then the only other thing that I remember about the movie was that uh, like the events of the miniseries were going to lead into the beginning of the movie, and the beginning of the movie was going to be like Big Sensei warning the Sonic Girls about like what was about to happen before he passes away. R.I.P. Big Sensei. Uh, so again, unfortunately it didn't get very far, which saddens me because uh, I I had some belief in the idea, but unfortunately, in 2019 we had that that long spell where I was just like dead in the aftermath of a cold, and then Sonic and Mario took priority, and it just didn't get off the ground.
I do remember like contributing kind of one thing to this. Because I remember you didn't really know like what to do for like a Luna equivalent at first. I was just like, why don't you use big? You're like, that's stupid. And I was like, yeah, that's why it'd be good. And I guess he just kind of ended up becoming big sensei out of that whole thing.
He's their mentor. More like a
Yeah.
Zordon, but I can see where Rabbit's coming from. Uh,
Hmm.
so uh, let's see. Speaking of Sailor Moon influence and whatnot,
Yeah.
another one of Rabbit's projects here. We've got Sailor Moon Super Deluxe Audio Drama Adventure. Uh,
It says it on the tin.
hmm Rabbit, if you want to take the reins on this one.
Yeah. Um, it is well would have been. It has a few episodes though. It's a kind of even goofier Sailor Moon thing, like taking place mainly in the 90s anime continuity, like post Sailor Stars. And it would have been I keep on saying would have been. The main villains were of these like octopus squid aliens called the tentacle aliens because I think that's stupid and funny.
Yeah.
And and the main villain was Queen Octavia, and she did like a bunch of fucking squid and octopus puns. And she was kind of like a Rita Repulsa type, I guess.
Mm-hmm.
And the other main villains were pretty much just like the thinnest, the thinnest veiling of Goldar possible. Goldor. That'd be like uh, taking Dracula and be like, "Oh no, that's not Dracula. That's my own original character, Draculo."
Yeah.
But yeah, he's there, and I do the voice and everything because I really like doing that. And there was also her daughter, Pearl, who would end up becoming one of the sailors around, I guess, halfway or so. I didn't have an exact structure for this during the show. It happened during the Christmas special. And then, like, her brother and his family would have become, like, the new heavies because she's a good guy and Goldor was killed off. And yeah, we wrote like a fair amount of episodes. Brandon did like a lot of silly shorts, mainly with Minako and Artemis,
Mm-hmm.
and had characters such as Tim Kerr in the Koreans, because we can't get enough of Tim Curry,
Oh yeah,
and
dude.
uh, and a creepy old pervert man called Bushi.
The oh god, I forget if it was the principal of like Usagi and Ami and Makoto's school or Mina's or Ray's, but he was like the principal of one of their schools. Uh,
I'm pretty sure it was just the main high school because everybody but Ray went there.
right. So like he's the principal until being saved by Mina and Ray. Uh, and he like creeps everyone out, but he's not really a bad guy. He's just fucking creepy. So
Yeah, more or
uh
less.
so after being saved to raise horror, he's inspired to travel around and spread his message to the people. So we we just have him go around like this, and I know I've done this voice on stream before. uh you know uh and he would do some lovely things like I was reading the Temker episode, for instance, and he was like, "Hey everyone, check out this neat party trick" or something, and he like attempts to eat his own arm. Uh, so, so that was Bushi. Um, and kind of like another thinly veiled sort of character was Beta. Because I was like getting into the Zeta project at the time, and I was like, "Oh, of course we can do something." Uh,
It's an anything goes sort of show. Whatever, just put in anything.
yeah. Uh, so a very similar story, to what was going on uh, in like the show we're parodying. Uh, remember having like his backstory be based in like a lot of dark humor. He's like he defies his programming because like he saw uh an old homeless dude on the street like die, and then his dog abandons him, and it was stupid, but we love stupidity around here. um but a nice little cast of characters. And I thought writing the Minako and Artemis side series was interesting as well, because we'd have to like kind of due to just the sheer amount that I was writing because I'm a freak. Uh, we'd have to like plant in like little references to the progression of the show. So it was like, okay, this episode will come out when this thing happens in the main series, and blah blah blah. It was collaborative in that respect.
Yeah. And there was one that you did that I really liked where they all went over to America and they
Right.
met like bootleg American versions of themselves based off like the fucking like American pilot that never came
The
out.
Tune Maker's Sailor Moon. Oh man,
Yeah.
I completely
And
forgot about
we
that.
like that was before it was fully released, and we had to like guesstimate their names, and we got them right. So
Yeah,
say guess.
fucking. Oh man. Even wrote a full parody, and I wish that I had like music composition skills because I would still be interested in like writing and like composing and whatnot, like the parody of the theme song. We would have had to find somebody to do it, but just wrote a whole theme song for them as well.
Yeah. But
Uh,
yeah, it would have been like a mix of like silly episodes and like well, mostly from me, like some more dramatic stuff as well. But
mm-hmm.
it would have been fun. But I only got 2 episodes and one of the Minako episodes out because it was mostly recorded anyway, and I knew nothing else was gonna come out of it. So fuck it.
Cheer, buddy. Uh, and it really wasn't anything goes sort of deal like like really thinking about it because we had Boss Biggest, like one of the most obscure villains from Batman the Animated Series, be like Fat Friend's father.
Yeah, because like there was a lot of in joke stuff. Because like I really like that voice you did from Kangaroo Jack. Because I'm fat, so I'm like, okay, well, Usagi has a fat friend, so we'll just make that voice into that character. And we also watched the biggest episode around that time, and I'm like, it'd be fucking hilarious if he was her dad for no reason.
He's obsessed with Graver.
Was that the driver?
I, Dude, I wish that I could relive my first time hearing the bit from the Minako and Artemis episode where he like pops out of the window and falls because your scream got me so good. But then of course, oh man. Um, but then like we also had Eugene, who was like one of the tentacle aliens, and he was more or less 625 from the Lilo and Stitch animated series because we were watching that at the time too.
More so the voice than anything, but yeah.
Yeah, Ganto,
I'm just like, do that voice, it'll fit. He's affable, you know.
cheer, buddy. Um, and then we didn't quite have it in the notes here, but we were at one point gonna do like a spiritual successor of sorts, called like a Crystal Tokyo Christmas, because man, I love Christmas. Uh,
Uh, I'd still like to do that, yeah.
yeah, it's been so long since like our last session trying to like write shit, and it was going pretty well. I did, like we just kind of it just kind of stopped. I don't know
You
why.
just got busy, I guess, yeah. And then
Yeah,
never got back to it.
I feel
Christmas kind of came and went.
like I feel particularly bad for our Luna actress, Mad Mickey, who was very nice and like uh, receptive to some of the dumbass ideas that we had for the show. Uh, because we had contacted them and got them like in on it, and it was like, we'll send you the script as soon as it's done. It's still not done. So it's
Yeah.
very sorry, Mad Mickey. Uh,
You were one of the few who never ghosted me. My apologies.
yeah. Uh, Goodness. But it wasn't quite related, but very similar style. Included some of the same gags, like uh, in the main show, like we were gonna have Ray be very specifically insistent about not having a crush on Minako. And then like in the Christmas special, the unrelated one, they're married in the future. So stuff like that.
Yeah, that's an idea where I like, so I just like really ran with that
Yeah.
when doing Sailor Moon.
Mm-hmm. Uh, I think that's about it for Sailor Moon. Would you say?
Uh, yeah, outside of like maybe like some specific episode ideas, I can't really think of anything. But yeah,
Yeah. So we're gonna move on to our big finale, the thing that we thought we were gonna talk about the least, Sonic and Mario.
yeah. As it turns out, there is a lot to talk about.
Yeah. Uh, I guess that makes the most sense though, because from the initial idea, which was a complete ripoff of Red versus Blue, was going to be like a machinima. I talk about it in uh, probably Sonic and Mario tidbits, but I know I did in the 10 years plus one series as well. Uh, Whereas again, it was just going to be like I saw a Sonic mod for Halo 1 or 2 on YouTube, back in September of '07. I was like, I want to do this. Um, but then eventually, after like the voice actors left the project and whatnot, and I really thought about it, I was like, I can do something different. So then, Sonic and Mario became what it was, which one person accused of being a ripoff of Super Mario Brothers Z. So I suppose nobody wins. Uh, but this one's kind of hard to remember. Like I suppose easy to forget would have been the right phrase, but whatever. Um, but
The opposite.
when the show was first being written, like it was gonna be more sitcom esque with like a loose plot that would have resolved itself in the series finales. I only
Yeah,
remember like
I remember. I remember specifically coming up with like Eggman and Bowser tricking Mario into ripping off the Master's tag, and he gets like
yes,
taken to court.
yeah, that was one of the two that I remember. And I think that was a two-parter as well. Where like Sonic had to defend
Yeah,
Mario in court, and whatnot. Really wacky idea. Um, and then the other one, which surprisingly I tried to like keep going with for it was going to be a season 1 episode, then it was going to be a season 2 episode disconnected entirely from the rest of the plot, and then it was going to be a season 3 episode again disconnected entirely from the plot, where like they go to a haunted house, and they discover that Amy has a fear of spiders and try all these wacky sort of ways to try and get her over the fear. The only one of which I remember was them trying to get her to eat a spider. So, that's fun. Um, but something that we remember a lot more of, Rabin and I, was like some of the original season concept. So like pre-cancellation, pre-cancellation, Sonic and Mario was going to be like a lot different of a show. Like if it had gone just originally as planned with all the original versions of the seasons, the spin-offs and the movie, like it would have been a big old thing. Um, but let's talk about some of those. The original season 3 was a Captain N based storyline that Rabid wrote most of.
yeah. Um, as mentioned in the notes here, an ongoing plot would have had Mother Brain trying to convince Bowser to betray Eggman, and eventually be successful. And then I had like an Invader of the Body Snatchers filler arc, just because, um, with zucchinis instead of pods, and eventually it would have resulted in like a big like multi crossover with like a bunch of other game series, kind of taking advantage of the Captain N thing, which is actually fairly similar to what I'm seeing of season 5 here, just more comedic, I guess.
Yeah, actually, and we'll get to that in a moment. 'Cause I know, like, I think there was like some pressing reason why I needed the season three summaries to be finished. So I had to like
Yeah,
hastily.
I got writer's block after a bit. After a while, I just wasn't doing anything. I guess you were like, "Oh, fuck it, it's finished now."
Yes,
I'm like, "Oh, okay, well, all
like
right."
I like hastily wrote like three episodes to end the season on. So I'm sorry, Rabbit, for stomping over your vision. Uh, but like it would have led into something. Like there would have been foreshadowing at the end. Uh, And then like the original season four would have been like a big whole long Sonic '06 parody, which I'm sure I could have shortened down. Like if I read the episode summaries now, I could probably like because some of them were pretty short, like put some of them together and whatnot, maybe get rid of some details. But I like did the entire fucking plot of the game without cutting anything. Uh, so the season would have been 29 episodes long. Uh, and I think one of them actually was completely disconnected from the rest of the story, so it would have actually been 28 plus the one other episode. Uh, which I don't remember much of the Sonic '06 parody in terms of like the jokes that were written into it or anything like that, because again, it didn't get to the scripting phase. Uh, the Captain N storyline actually did have some scripts produced, and the only reason why we didn't go through with it was because of a lack of usable sprites. Uh, But as far as season, like the original season four goes, the only real gag that I remember about it was that like when Mephiles fails to convince Shadow to join his side and whatnot. I wrote in the summary that that he changed his appearance because he got so angry that he turned permanently ugly, which I still think is pretty funny. Uh, but yeah, it was like as far as Sonic '06 parodies go, probably would have been pretty standard for the time. I'm sure the one that we wrote for Simply Sonic was better, uh, but you know that's just how it went. And then the original season five, kind of like what Rabid mentioned, actually, a big old crossover, and it was gonna tie like directly into the end of the original season three. And then after that was changed, it just made like a small change to the beginning of it. Um, I don't remember if we were going to have any more, but I do remember Donkey Kong, Zelda, and Star Fox characters were going to be in there. So like Donkey and Diddy, Link and Zelda, Fox and Falco, and then taking like some of the enemies and whatnot from those respective series. Uh, it would have been like for those who read TV tropes, it would have been loads and loads of characters. So I imagine that we probably wouldn't have been able to develop them very well had this gone forward, but uh, would have had them
I
there.
imagine if we did that like more recently, it would have absolutely like TV show influence in Donkey Kong side.
Oh yeah, yeah. You know what? That's a good point because I agree. If we had written it now, like they would have absolutely been based on the TV show. And I think K. Rule might have actually still been. And again, we didn't like write any scripts uh, for this by the time it got canned. But oh wait, you know what? I did write the original season premiere for this, but that's aside from the point. Uh, I think I did characterize K. Rule in that way, but I do distinctly remember that DK and Diddy were literally just going to be sounds. Like so DK was just going to be me going like, and I think I was going to ask KN to make like chimp sounds for Diddy. Uh, so it would have been fucking dumb. Uh, That's what their characters would have been, ladies and gentlemen. Uh, uh,
Ook, ook, ladies and gentlemen.
Link was going to be the same way too. He wasn't going to have any dialogue or anything. He was going to be presented just as he is in like Smash Bros. Because that's really all I knew. So he was just going to be like ah ah you know. So like out of the six hero characters that we were gonna bring in, three were gonna have actual dialogue and personalities. uh, so not the greatest decision, but uh, I, uh, I didn't entirely lose the red versus blue influence either, and some stupid Mario Brothers in there as well, as I mentioned countless times in the Tidbits series. For Sonic and Mario, but it would have taken a bit of a serious turn. Would have still had comedy in there, like it would have still nominally been a parody, but there's going to be some like darker story elements and whatnot. The show would have taken itself a little more seriously, uh, uh, to the point where, and I know I said this on the Sonic and Mario finale stream too, so like it's still 4.5 years later, still kind of embarrassing to admit. But I sent a test script to KN because I was gonna have her voice Amy in season 5, and there was like it was gonna be her and Sonic teaming up uh, in like one of the three groups. Uh, in like the finale, they were all gonna raid the base and have this huge fucking showdown with the various villains and enemies from the games and whatnot. Uh, but um, there was gonna be a moment where like Sonic has to fend for himself after Amy gets injured, and I wanted to like write out what that scenario was in my mind. So I sent KN a test script, and I was like, "Hey, could you record this? Just I want to see what this sounds like before I write it into any script." And to KN's credit, she did it. But I think she did it in a way that perfectly, like it was as I wrote in the notes here, it was the perfect smack in the face that I needed to dial it back. uh because like she didn't but like set it to like a really dramatic tune from Final Fantasy and whatnot. It perfectly showed how fucking silly the dialogue was. uh and I listened to it and I was like, you know I did it too much. Thank you, KN. I needed that. So a big thank you to KN for kind of steering me in the right direction with that. Um, so that was season 5, as it was originally going to be. 14 episodes long. It was going to have the big climactic fight, multi-faction sort of deal. Or I shouldn't say that because like all the heroes were on the same page. It's just they split up into different groups. Um, and eventually everyone would have gone home safe and sound. But then we get the spin-offs where the story continues. Um, So the first spin-off was going to be Team Chaotix, and that was going to run for 3 seasons. I don't remember what the first season was, but I'm sure it would have been fun. Um, I think it was the second season where I wrote them going into Mario's world to solve something. I don't think they were gonna meet up with like Mario and the gang themselves, but they were gonna like go around and do something like fight the Koopalings or like kick Toad or I don't know what they were gonna do. But it was like the Chaotix and Sonic and Knuckles, I think. Um, and then the third season was like split into like two storylines. So the first 3 episodes were Sonic trying to find out more about his family because he doesn't feel like he belongs after showing them like Manic and how different he is, and eventually it would have been revealed that like Queen Alina lied, and Sonic's not actually her kid or some shit. Uh, and then something I alluded to in Sonic and Mario was like they mentioned that there was originally a fourth member of the Chaotix that was going to be Mighty, and he was gonna like he was like made like an official detective by the police, and he was gonna like run the Chaotix out of business, which like the Chaotix find that he's guilty of a crime, so like he goes to jail, but it's a Pyrrhic victory because the detective agency goes out of business. But there's a happy ending because they become official at the end.
No.
Yeah. Uh, And then that would have led into the Aftermath series. So 3 seasons of Sonic Aftermath, 2 seasons of Mario Aftermath, which was very inspired by the MCU and how all the movies led like into the Avengers. Uh, so kind of a similar deal where like it was Knuckles and Rouge for 1 season doing something. Uh, Shadow and Omega, and Rouge was actually going to join them for a little bit of that too, leading them into something. So Omega would have debuted, uh, and then like Sonic, Amy, and Tails have like their own adventure, and that would have led into the movie. And I don't remember the specifics of this because again, all of that is on like my old Windows XP computer. Um, Mario and Luigi would have had like 2 seasons to do something. One of them was gonna have Wario and Waluigi in it to kind of like tie that loose end of why they were never in the show. Uh, but it was all just gonna lead into Sonic and Mario the movie, which uh, I only like briefly browsed the script, but I do remember actually like as I was reading it, it was like, oh yeah, Rabid and I would like trade. So like we did like
Yeah,
scene after scene after scene. And you could definitely tell in the way that the scenes are written.
mine are a lot sillier, I'm guessing. Yeah.
Yeah. So you like you get scene 1 by me, 2 by Rabbit, and you can definitely tell the differences in how we were gonna do it. Uh, it was not great. About half the length of Clone Calamity. Uh, in terms of line numbers, but there were going to be 4 fight scenes in it, so that would have extended the length. Uh, but uh, perhaps we'll do a reading of it at one point, and it probably
I'd be game to do it. Yeah.
probably embarrass ourselves in the process. But but the basic plot summary was that there's a giant Koopa robot that Bowser built, and it wreaks havoc. Uh, our heroes go to Mario's world to gather the star spirits and use their powers combined with the Chaos Emeralds to destroy it and prevent both worlds from colliding.
Aside from like the giant robot, essentially all I remember is that I put like Gamma or Omega in it at one point.
Yeah, uh, Gamma. I think Gamma was a part of the Sonic Aftermath thing. So like he was with Sonic, Tails, and Amy before, uh, and then it's really hard trying to jog my memory on this, but I know that like Gamma and Omega were definitely a thing. Um, and I know that you also brought back Metal Sonic, Metal Knuckles, and Tails doll too. Uh,
Yes, yes.
they figured into the plot somewhere. Uh, but and that was
I
fun.
I had to. They were. I introduced them in the show. I had a whole arc.
They're your
I had to put
babies.
them back. Yeah.
Uh, I think uh, like I'm surprised I can't remember because I literally like just read some of the script earlier. But I think they had like pirate personalities in there, uh, and whatnot. So it was it
If you
was
don't mind sending me that, I'd like to read through it sometime.
a charity incentive. There we go. Uh, but yeah, it was a fun little time to write that and whatnot. Again, just a couple optimistic teenagers writing their little project in the early 2010s.
Yeah.
Uh, so all that got scrapped, the original season 5 and the movie and the spin-off seasons when I canceled the show due to outside factors in 2013, which necessitated a rewrite of episode 36. Uh, in the original version of that, I was surprised actually because there's a very short scene at the beginning, then the fight scene, and then another very short scene where the heroes are like, "Hey, why don't we just work together and get everyone back home?" And Eggman and Bowser are like, "Okay." And then yet another short scene at the end, which to my 19-year-old self's credit, did take place in Route 99 and involve sending Peach's castle back as well. which I think was a big oversight of the actual finale. Um, it was a loose end that was not, in fact, tied up, so I had to do that in the Christmas special. But I'm getting aside from myself. Uh, you know, so that's kind of like what the original episode 36 was like. It probably would have been a shit finale. Like now that I'm really thinking about it, even with the fight scene in there. Uh,
Just the way you're describing it sounds very like slapdash. Gotta end this now.
Yeah, it's very very bare bones, and it is one of the reasons why I decided, aside from needing files from my old computer as well, to do it that way. I was just kind of like, this finale is too bare bones. I think there needs to be more put into it. So I'm like, in a sense, I'm not glad about the circumstances, but I am glad with like the story that actually led into the finale as we saw it. Uh, you know, it's just too bad it took us years upon years to get there. Uh, but while I had this original episode 36 around, there were actually three conceptual seasons that I wrote as well. Because I was thinking about extending the series, so it wouldn't have been as like slapdash of a finale. It would have led into more. So I kind of floated that idea around. Eventually, decided to scrap it. Um, and try to just do this episode 36 as the finale, and then later on I decided to extend the show, but in a much, the way that we saw it. But in 2014, only the summaries for the conceptual seasons 5 and 6 exist. I'm surprised because I know I wrote the seventh one, but I guess I didn't send it to myself before, like, getting rid of the file from my grandma's computer. Um, but the season 5 concept from 2014 was that 36 was changed slightly to add that Mario was unable to go back to his home. The season premiere would have had the reveal that Eggman and Bowser orchestrated the plot, forcing the heroes to have to search for the Chaos Emeralds to send Mario home. Sonic tries to open a portal and send Mario back during the climactic battle, but overpowers it and sends everyone to Mario's world. So, reusing an idea from the Team Chaotic spin-off there, that everyone uh, goes off to Mario's world for an adventure, which would have been the entirety of season 6, where it's revealed that the Koopalings have taken over and they kidnap Peach. Cue wacky hijinks as the Sonic characters adjust to Mario's world, like a gag where Sonic is very averse to World 3 because it's like, very full of water, so Tails has to lug him along, you know, fly over everything. Um, would have featured Star Road and the special area from Super Mario World, so it would have mixed elements from uh, Mario 3 and Mario World. And the new Mario games there as well, because there was going to be like a World 9, so like some lost levels in there too, because it mentions underwater Lakitus and stuff. But eventually, like the end of it was Eggman and Bowser betray our heroes and join the Koopalings at the end, but all are stopped when a series of portals appear and a menacing laugh is heard, which would have led into the conceptual seventh season, which was going to be a Smash Bros. Parody. So the plot was Master Hand summons everyone to perform various tasks. So each episode would have been like, you know, based on a Smash Bros. Mini game. So one was like the home run contest, one of them was break the targets, another one was board the platforms, so on and so on. And like eventually they all defeat Master Hand and return home after a final farewell. Uh, and that is everything Sonic and Mario that I could think of for this.
Oh boy.
So yeah, that just about covers everything. I don't think we're missing anything. Let me just have a look. See, Clone Calamity, Uber Duck, Super Wars, Ice Cap Zone, Amy's Adventure, The Colony, Sonic Girls, Simply Sonic, Sailor Moon, Sonic and Mario. Yeah, we got it all. So, uh, for
Yeah, pretty
those
sure that's everything. Yeah.
for those that have been listening, that's kind of our look, behind the curtain. I'm sure that there's more, that we probably didn't think of or whatever, but a very expansive look into the projects Rabbit and I have worked on for both of our channels over the years, and it's a thought that it might be interesting to reveal some of these secrets, and certainly hope that if you've listened thus far that you found some of it interesting and everything. So, one last little bit is we have the fan question. So, if you become a channel member at the Memory Lane Buddies viewer level, not only do you get to vote on the topic for Memory Lane Buddies in odd numbered months, but when we're organizing each episode, you get to ask a question that we'll answer if it abides by YouTube guidelines. Um, so, uh, our fan question, which I think is the first one in like at least 4 episodes. Our fan
Jeez Louise.
question today comes from Eddie, who asks, "Is there a project that you didn't think you were gonna finish, but somehow managed to do it?"
Probably Sonic and Mario, honestly.
Yeah, that was definitely like on my mind there. It, and Clone Calamity as well. It's a similar answer for like two different things. So like Uh, there were points during the production of both projects uh, where I just kind of like would sit there and kind of take a look at the work that was ahead of me and be like, do I really want to do this? Is it done? Is it over? Am I cooked? Uh, but you know, uh, I think everyone kind of gets those intrusive thoughts in their head. When when they're working on stuff like this, and I'm sure I'm not the only one. I'm sure Rabbids had those sort of thoughts as well. uh,
Yeah.
and I think with like there is a bit of an overlap between like creatives and people who have like anxiety or depression or something. There's like even a Wikipedia page about it. um, so I think that's just kind of a natural part of the process. uh, I'm remembering like right now that for those who watch South Park, there's a great documentary made called like 7 Days to Air. And I forget if it's Trey Parker or Matt Stone, but like he even says it himself as like, after the weekend, like late into production, Monday, Tuesday, like he gets into a mood where like he feels like nothing's working about the episode and that they're going to have to do the whole thing over again and that sort of thing. That's very similar to I think how I would describe feeling in those moments where it was just like, oh my God, there's just so much to do. I don't know if I can handle it. Uh, so, uh, in short, Eddie, Sonic and Mario and Clone Calamity definitely come to mind first when uh, when thinking of your question.
Probably the closest I had to that was when I was doing Sailor Moon, and when I put all the voice clips together for episode 2, I saw that it was over half an hour long, and I'm like, Jesus Christ.
Oh yeah, and I know from experience, like editing with audio is a fucking drag. Uh,
Mhm.
so 30 minutes is especially when you're working with multiple actors as well. A lot goes
Yeah,
into that. You're sinking a ton of hours into cutting down all the takes and in Rabbit's case, he has like only the audio to work with, so he's putting in sound effects, making sure it all sounds natural and stuff. Uh,
yeah. Putting choosing what music goes where,
exactly.
making sure that's not too loud. All that shit.
Yeah, but to your credit, my dude, it came out sounding fantastic.
Thank you.
No problem, man. Uh, So
And I remember you like asking if I wanted to audio edit something. Like it might have been like the movie or something, and I was like, no fucking way.
yeah, I forget what project it was, but I there was like a moment of desperation there.
I think that was like right after I did that episode too. Like if it were like a little later on, I probably would have been like, sure.
uh, yeah, maybe something in the future. I think we mentioned that earlier with some of these
Hmm.
ideas. Um, But yeah, I think that'll just about do it for this episode of Memory Lane Buddies. A look behind the curtain, at our various projects on his channel and my channel over the years. And again, if you've listened this far, I hope that you found something interesting in here. So, yeah, that'll be the end of this one. If you want exclusive access to the recording session for Memory Lane Buddies, that is one of the perks, along with the earlier mentioned vote for the topic each month. Or sorry, each odd numbered month, and then on the either even month, if I can talk, please, even numbered month, uh, you get the podcast episode and the fan question. Uh, so if you want in on that fun, then do consider becoming a channel member at the Memory Lane Buddies level if you can afford it and if you feel like it. Uh, so yeah, but that'll
Hey,
just
buddy.
exactly. Uh, but that'll do it for this one. So, Rabid, my dude, thank you for joining me on this one.
Yeah, this was one I was looking forward to for a little while.
Oh yeah, it was on the it was in like a good few consecutive polls there, and I too am glad that it got voted in. So, uh, thank you, audience, for letting us do this. Um, and yeah, uh, so until next time, I have been Skull902.
Rabbit Sonic fan.
Thank you for watching and have yourselves a wonderful day. Bye bye.